Hello. I wanted to make a comment on the strike, the military strike. Trump attacked Syria. And first of all, those of you who don't like me sitting or laying down, I work my ass off, okay? So if you don't like my videos, me laying down or sitting back or whatever, there's nothing I can do for you. Anyways, this guy comes and attacks Syria. Now, let's analyze that for a moment. Okay, so allegedly, they shoot. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Let me get that out there because a lot of people ask conspiracy theories and stuff like that. No, these are hard, concrete facts. According to everybody and their sister in the world, everybody knows that Vladimir Putin, the butcher of Chechnya, what they call him, the guy who committed genocide against the people of Chechnya. Chechnya being the region of, it's not Russia, it's Chechnya in the and the Caucasus or the Balkans or the Caucasus, I'm not very good, but that has a lot of oil. And it just so happens that had an entire country and a population there that were against Russian stealing their oil. So they fought back, and Chechen people before George Bush, everybody in the world was supporting them because they saw the aggression of Russia against this people. It was genocide. The numbers are 250,000 people or something like that. I mean, that's outrageous. They razed the city to nothing. Grozny. The city of Grozny. And why am I talking about that? Because look at what the media does. Not all the media, but sensationalist media and media who don't have balls to call it what it is, a genocide, the Chechen genocide. And Vladimir Putin was involved in that. They won in as soon as George Bush. I mean, the United States was lobbying hard to get Russia to stop attacking and committing genocide in Chechnya and leave them alone. And if you see the movie The Sum of All Fears with Ben Affleck is in it, you'll see part of the drama that went on, and that was real. The United States was lobbying hard. They were really pissed off at what Russia was doing. But as soon as George Bush got into office and 9/11 happened, instead of being called freedom fighter, Chechen freedom fighters, they went to Muslim terrorists. Okay, from night to day. Okay, so and everybody stopped fighting Russia over the genocide, and you never heard about it ever again. And that didn't stop it from being a genocide. So now Russia is supporting, fast forward to today and the recent couple of years during the war in the civil war in Syria. You have different factions in there, and people say, "What's so important about Syria?" Syria, a lot of it's all about oil and pipelines. Because of the strategic location that Syria has. So when China wants in there and everything. So Assad, this monster, mild-mannered, soft-spoken monster, the guy was a doctor. He's actually a medical doctor trained in London. Or I think in London, yeah, I think he was trained in London. He was the heir for his father, who was another brutal dictator in Syria. So he aligned himself, Assad, with the Russians. That's why you didn't see the United States take a hit at Syria before, because they didn't want to turn it into an international scene where the United States would attack the Assad regime while there were Russian planes, which are the ones who are doing the bombing, By the way, the Russian planes are the ones doing the bombing, and that raises a question: did these people bomb? Did Russian planes use sarin gas in there? Not everybody can weaponize sarin. That takes to weaponize it and put it in a bomb that goes on an airplane, on a warplane that shoots down at population. It's not like you go to Home Depot or Lowe's and say, hey, give me a bottle of sarin gas and let's spray it on the surface of the bomb. No, this is very, very technical knowledge that's required. And rebels or not do not have the technology. First of all, they don't have airplanes, and they have artillery and small arms fire and IEDs and stuff. So, and neither of those ISIS. ISIS does have anti-aircraft stuff and whatever, and all the weapons of ISIS are supplied by United States taxpayers. Thank you very much. All of them. They have, from their RPGs to their anti-aircraft stuff to their tanks. They have Abrams tanks. They have Toyota trucks. They have everything with U.S. Army stickers on it because they stole it, or that's what they say, that they stole it. Oh, we missed the drop. That's what the special forces say. We missed the drop, and it landed in the hands of Islamic extremists. Really? So, Assad aligned himself with Russia because Russia wanted to get in the hand, get the control over Syria for the strategic position for their oil pipelines and the whatever. So, and the rest of it, it's a gateway. So, here's the deal. All of a sudden, airplanes from the Assad regime, who is backed by Vladimir Putin, attack civilian population and release sarin gas, which is the pictures we saw of the babies gasping for air. Okay? So, if Russia is the one that's backing Assad and Russia are together, they bombed these people together. So now, you're telling me that Donald Trump, first of all, there were no confirmed, everybody denied that it had anything to do with it. From the rebels to ISIS to Russia to Assad, nobody did it. But the only people who have access to airplanes in Syria that can bomb are Russian airplanes at the service of Assad. And Russia and Mr. Trump are friends. So it smells to me like they're going to remove Assad, because the only way that they're going to let in the planes that they bombed, the planes that they were on that airport, military airport, I bet you anything they were Russian military planes or maintained or supplied by Russia. So I wouldn't be surprised if Russia said, look, we need to do something to make it look like it was the Assad regime. And I think they're just going to throw him to the wolves and scapegoat Assad. So no, it's not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen between Russia and the United States, number one, because they're buddies now. So what I think is they're just going to scapegoat this guy. They're going to throw him to the wolves, or they're going to give him asylum somewhere. He's going to disappear, and they're going to install some type of military or dictator or somebody who's kind of moderate and just take over the Assad regime, and it's going to be they're going to ease down the tension. But I think this is the start of the beginning of the end for Assad. And in a concerted effort, and I bet you anything that Russia knew about this airstrike and they approved it, because I don't think Trump is going to go in there and hit the airplanes of his buddy without him knowing that, hey, we're going to hit this guy. So I don't expect this to go. I don't think he'll put up a fight. He'll take the deal, whatever deal they give him. If not, they're going to kill him, just like they did in the streets of with Muammar Gaddafi, and they'll do the same thing. They'll do the same thing to Assad if he doesn't agree to the terms. So probably somebody in Europe might take him, or even the Chinese. Because they're all in there, because of the strategic position. So it's not that, and also it works on behalf of Trump, because it takes the attention away from him committing treason and his administration committing treason. All this scumbags that he's got working for him, but it's not going to work well as far as that. That part's not going to work well when it's all said and done, and everything comes out in the open, or most of it. You'll see that that there was collusion between both governments, and that when it comes out in the open, what they'll say is the Russians and the Americans. They'll say we cooperated, or it was a joint intelligence effort of many countries, European, American, and blah blah blah, that wanted to end the carnage in Syria. But it was Russia and the United States working together, and Assad this is it for him. Yeah, that's what I'm predicting.